When I was filming my Trump mugshot video, specifically when I started talking about the rise of black support for Trump after seeing the mugshot, but now that picture of Donald Trump's mugshot from Fulton County Jail has created this little connection between the two. For one, a lot of the popular artists nowadays have been to that jail, have gotten a mugshot from that jail. Like I talked about in the Why the Youth Turned Conservative video, Fannie Willis is also going after a hip-hop crew, a gang, YSL, with Young Thug and Gunna. I mean, when Gunna got out, he dropped an album. One of the songs literally was #1 on Apple for like a month. Playboi Carti is another fucking huge name that has been arrested in Fulton County. And because those photos exist, people have made this connection of, Trump's one of us now. I remember thinking to myself, I bet you the left is gonna play some bullshit race card calling conservatives racist for just saying the truth. And now it's happened. Is anyone really surprised? I don't even know what they're gonna say. My main prediction is that they're gonna get really mad at the fact that black people do relate to the mugshot and that we're willing to say it. Like, one thing I always think about is the number of street rappers there are and how they come from certain areas and how those certain areas tend to be run by Democrats. Chief Keef, Lil Durk, King Von, G Herbo, all from Chicago, which, by the way, is run by a Democrat. Pop Smoke, Lil TJ, Fabio Foreign, Jay-Z, all from New York, which, surprisingly enough, is run by Democrats. Lil Baby, Young Thug, 21 Savage, Gucci Mane, all from Atlanta, which I don't even gotta say it anymore. There's a clear pattern, and of course, they gotta make an excuse for it. Not only is it gonna be an excuse for the Democrats' lack of care for black communities, but it's mostly gonna be an excuse for the fact that black people fuck with Trump now. It makes me laugh and smile, honestly, the fact that this is happening. It just means that more people are waking up. This is a good thing, but now it's even a better thing because now we get to watch the left try and fix this shit. And to me, it's been a ticking time bomb this entire time. Like, what do you expect to happen when you promise a community you're gonna help them if they vote for you, and then once they vote for you and give you power, you don't do shit for them? Add on top of that the fact that they lied about Trump being racist. Like, I still don't even understand where this racist narrative even comes from. I never understood where this, like, racist Trump narrative even came from. His entire life, he's been, like, cool with black people, bro. I'd even argue that his love for his black friends has caused some issues. Like, his Herschel Walker endorsement for the Georgia Senate was horrible, in my opinion. And it's not because I don't like Herschel Walker, I do. It's just the fact that he had so much personal shit get leaked in that race. He became kind of like a brand risk candidate, honestly. They could try to do the feelings argument like MSNBC tried to do.
And so people like Giuliani and people like Trump persecuted black and brown people in New York. It's what they did for fun. It's what they did for pleasure. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed lording over people who had nothing, who had no $1,000,000 lawyers, who couldn't change lawyers at the drop of a hat and get a different hip-hop lawyer the next day when they were tired of one, who couldn't go out and make their case on, Fox or on Newsmax, who had nothing, and who Donald Trump lorded his everything over, and still people who looked like them put him in rap.
What she's explaining isn't, like, racist. What she's explaining is just, like, Donald Trump being fucking rich. Like, obviously, this is a man who enjoys being rich. And that's what she's explaining. He enjoyed getting a new lawyer. No, he just enjoyed the fact that he could afford a new lawyer. That he could buy, literally, whatever the fuck he wanted. People enjoyed that, and he certainly enjoys it. Like, the only thing that's bringing race into this conversation is New York, and that he lived in it. But either way, it'll still be entertaining to watch.
The mugshots turned Trump into a sympathetic character in black America. The streets are talking about him in a way they've never talked about him before. Black Americans online, some of them...
By the way, that is actually true. Chief Keef was like, "Black's got my man's back." Like, that claim is literally true. And of course, they're gonna try and, like, destroy that claim and just be like, no, guys. It's just them being racist because you know how conservatives are. Racist, racist, racist. That's all you can say.
Saying, I'm voting for Trump now. Because they, too, have sometimes felt they've been unfairly targeted by the criminal justice system.
Again, that is true. That is a true thing. And that is actually what is happening.
And in this country, nationally, 1 or 2% of the black vote swinging to the Republicans, that's the election right there.
And it's happening.
Jesse Waters is actually not the only conservative commentator who is arguing that the release of Donald Trump's mugshot has actually increased his support among the black community. People are talking about it. They're excited about his mugshot on the streets, as Jesse Waters said. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Now, look,
oh my God.
To be sure, the Republican Party has, as we've talked about on the show before, increased its support among black male voters a little bit. That has nothing to do with the release of Trump's mugshot. And I think it says something about people like Jesse Waters if they think a mugshot is something that would persuade black voters to support Trump.
Oh my God.
Like, what are you trying to say there? And unfortunately, Waters isn't the only person who has this kind of thinking among conservatives.
Or is just saying what's happening. Yeah, I'm sure Jesse Waters isn't the only news reporter that's saying the truth. Yeah, I'm really sure.
Let's watch a little more of Waters and then we'll comment.
He is now seen by non-political folks as a rebel, an outsider with swagger. And as one black lady I spoke with earlier today here in New Orleans said, Trump's a gangster. And that means he has cred among a new block of voters that perhaps have never given him a serious look, and now they're looking again.
The African-American community, the black community, is rallying behind Donald Trump. And they're pointing to the mugshot saying, look, we've been saying this all along. We've been getting what the treatment Trump's getting now all along.
It was the security guards and a group of them, and on like 3 separate occasions, African-American men came up to me. They go, hey, man, we're never voting for that other guy. We get all of this stuff.
But black Americans used to view it as white-black, and Donald Trump opened their eyes to it's really about the corrupt and the people who they don't want to be involved. It's about the people pulling the strings. It's about the haves and the have-nots as far as power, not just money. And so now they've transitioned from the system is corrupt, from against black people by white, but they're seeing one of the most powerful white men in the world go through the same kind of that their buddy did or their cousin who was selling weed on the corner, and they go, maybe it's not
I'm not a big fan of Crowder. I think he's a bit of a retard, but he's right here, bro. He's spitting facts, bro. He's saying the truth. Like, I keep having to say this for some reason. Chief Keef, a gangster rapper from the south side of Chicago, literally endorsed Donald Trump after the mugshot release. And you're telling me that that has no effect on the black community at all? Of course it does.
White thing.
By the way, let's just remember that the Young Turks are the same channel crying about reform, so they do have an understanding that this is happening to black America. But now they don't want to talk about it because it creates the connection between Donald Trump and black America. And they don't want to do that because they don't want to show the truth. They don't want to show the fact that they're losing.
God damn. I don't even want to talk about this story, to be honest with you. This is disgusting. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny watching these guys.
Oh yeah, of course you got to bring
themselves in the pretzel knots in order to like they're sort of justifying black people's antipathy towards the police, which is like a new thing for me with right wingers, while also Trump is getting, it's like a weird thing that they're trying to do, which essentially is this idea, this old racist trope that black people are more attracted to criminality than anybody else is, right?
That's insane. It's an insane thing to say. I can't okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this many conservative commentators were regurgitating this garbage. I can't believe it. I can't.
But here's the thing, Anna. That's doesn't just make it stupid. It's kind of funny at the same time in that, I think what they're getting at is this idea of gangster.
Guys, I just want you to sit back and enjoy this. This is literally just a time to enjoy. Like, we don't get many victory laps right now, especially right now, but this is one of them, and enjoy it.
Gangsterism and gangster rap and, the kinds of rappers whose record sales go up after they do something criminal or if they're perceived to be gangster or whatever and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing about that. The music industry who owns, the people who own and operate the music industry are about 98% white. Music industry consumers, meaning the people who might buttress the sales of these type of audiences, are suburban white people. This is the majority of people who go to rap concerts, who consume rap music. It's white people who like this stuff. Like this idea of, gangsterism and criminality, and this sort of caricature of what these artists are, or
bro, just like enter a high school and then just like look around and talk to some people, and you'll start to get an understanding of what the youth, what the culture likes. Like, Democrats are really losing their grip on the youth and on the next generation, which is, again, a great thing. Like, they're saying this shit like it's a surprise, like we don't already know this. There's already an understanding in the rap community that that's what's happening. There's no secret.
Or these people who become sort of infamous, who happen to be black, like, bruh, the people who love this stuff are white. Like, that's who supports this stuff at an overwhelming rate. This is who, like, you know, feels like they're on safari when they're watching a certain type of rap music video or whatever. It's white people who like that kind of stuff in the first place. That's what makes this thing so stupid to even consider.
Yeah, look, the last rap concert I went to was at the Hollywood Bowl. Drake was performing, Lil Wayne opened for him. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. To be fair, it was a very diverse crowd, okay? But it's in Los Angeles, which is a very diverse city.
It's different,
yeah. But like, let's not forget that the mugshot they're referring to was taken in Fulton County, Georgia, okay? In regard to the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, Fani Willis, indicting Trump for his role in attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Now, in that case, you know what he did, along with Rudy Giuliani? Essentially lied about, defamed, and terrorized 2 black women who are election workers in Fulton County, Georgia. Election workers who did their jobs appropriately, who did absolutely nothing wrong. But you have Trump and Giuliani alleging that they tampered with the ballots, which led to threats against them, endless harassment, the FBI telling them to leave their homes for their own safety. There's 2 black women. And conservative media is trying to twist the narrative and make it seem like, oh yeah, black community loves Trump. They think he's got street cred. They think he's hard. No, no one thinks that.
Everyone thinks that, bro. Everyone thinks that. Just take a step outside and look at the truth. Just look around. That's all you gotta do. And you'll see. The reason they're backing him again is because they've gotten screwed over by the system over and over and over again. Now they see the former president get fucked with by the same system. So now there's a connection between the two. And again, add on top of that the fact that your party hasn't done shit for them. Like I'll keep saying this. This was a time bomb ready to explode. It finally exploded and now they're losing it. Now they don't know how to react.
No one thinks that. Like no one's buying it. It's absolute garbage. You're right, Waz. It's perpetuating a stupid trope. And it's just insulting. Like it's overall insulting. It makes the claim, you're right, that black people are attracted to criminality. Anyway, I think it's gross. All of it.
Yeah,
I get it. I get the funny angle, especially that dork in the very first video in the compilation we showed you. Please stop talking, right?
The streets and the streets.
But I can't.
The streets of Midtown East, where that guy probably lives, where you won't find a Negro in sight. I think it's the saddest part about this is that these people are tasked with informing their viewers, about politics and the process and what's happening in our country. And to me, the saddest part is just the utter contempt that they obviously have for their viewership and listeners. They think these people are stupid. I really truly believe even the most virulent racist doesn't think that a black person is all of a sudden gonna just turn, just completely do a 180 shift.
Okay, that's probably the mindset issue. We're gonna pretend they're being good faith here. It wasn't just this sudden switch when the mugshot dropped. No. This has been happening. Your party promised them aid would come to them if they voted for them. Guess what? They voted for them. No aid ever came. Now use the same words they use. Black America isn't stupid. They see that they didn't help them. So now they don't trust them. And that has set it up to now who's the easiest to trust? Oh, well, I'll tell you who's easiest to trust. The former president that has been indicted 4 times by the same system that has fucked over the black community. That is what is happening, and that is why the change is occurring. Either they don't know it, or they're just bad faith.
on his viewpoint, his or her viewpoint of Donald Trump based on a mugshot. Like, I don't even think the most virulent Klansmen would actually believe that. Like, it just shows that they just don't care anymore, and they're not even trying at this point.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it.
I don't know. That was, I couldn't tell if it was bad or good faith. I think it was in good faith, and they're just like stupid as shit. I will say it also is a little disappointing that my prediction did come to be true. Like, it really shows kind of how pathetic the Democratic Party is. Like, of course this was gonna happen after all you've done to them. The other thing too is like, they'd be mad if someone who wasn't Jesse Waters, who wasn't a conservative, were talking about it like the way he was talking about it. Which is really bad, because all Jesse Waters was doing was just saying what was happening. Like, is a black person supposed to say when the black community is turning towards Trump? Like, those are legitimate questions because our culture has gotten that soft. And that little switch up that occurred in the 60s, it didn't switch the party's values, it just switched the party's demographic. Always keep that in mind.